first time in my life, I know exactly who I am.
Hey guys, what an episode.
What
I
a
know
show.
one thing. My boy Sip better come back to the present because things are about to go down and we need his assistance immediately.
Yes.
But
I
I am
couldn't.
not alone. I need to process this. And I got my partner in crime here, Keem.
Hey, we're gonna be here. We're gonna work through these feelings together. That's what we
Yeah,
have to do.
we have to because I got questions. Um so we the thing with this is very different from what I was expecting from the books. I just don't remember if this is exactly what happened, especially since I thought that Tessa, I think that was the younger
hmm
girl's name, would have a bigger role. But okay, let's go back to the beginning. King, let's
Yes.
start.
Rewind, rewind, rewind.
Let's
Didn't
rewind for a little bit.
didn't take notes this week, folks. So I'm freestyling. Um, let's hope these 4 years of theater improv pay off tonight. So we start as we always do, back in the past in the 1600s with our homegirl Susan, who they called her Suzanne, and I was really confused because I was like, I've been calling her Susan the whole time. But Susan is chilling in the crib, minding her business. There's a bang at the door. The witch hunter comes in and is like, "Are you Susan or Suzanne?" And she's like, "Yeah. Do you need help?" And he's like, "Nope, come with me." So we see her dragged off. Um, and it's really kind of messed up because she gets dragged off kind of in the middle of the town square. And I think she's kind of expecting that someone from the town will speak up in her defense because she's helped so many of them. And if she's not helped them, then she's helped their loved ones, but none of it. They're having none of it. Um, So much so that people that she's pointing out, like, "Hey, remember your wife had the runs and I stopped it? I helped you." And they're just throwing rocks at her, like like it doesn't matter. How did you feel about that first scene?
I thought it was messed up. It it's like you said, she just minded her own business, just living her life, trying to help people, and they repay her by turning it into something that's malevolent. And it's kind of like, okay, she's a witch, and the devil helped. That's what you're saying, right?
Mhm.
So you're saying that you shouldn't have gotten healed? I'm trying to figure out the logic on this. Does that mean that technically, where was Jesus in all this? If what you're saying is she's a witch and the devil like helped her help you, so does that rock your faith a little bit? I'm just wondering.
Yeah, and she even said, can't remember if it was at the beginning or if it was like one of the flashbacks throughout the episode, but she said like, "My healing is of God. It's not, number one." But this would be expecting people to use some kind of, I won't even say common sense, but some kind of like sense and rationale. Um, she's not asking anything of them. She's not asking them to make any kind of sacrifices and, not like cutting the head off a chicken or anything like that. But, like if I help you do this, then I'm going to need your soul, or, you're going to have to promise me your next 6 chickens or kids or whatever. Like she's literally is like, you need help, come to me, let me help you. That's it. That doesn't sound like something the devil would do. Um,
Yeah,
but
and what you're bartering is like food.
right.
Or like
Like,
herbs
thanks
and stuff.
thanks for birthing my baby. Here's some biscuits. It's not
Right.
it's not anything hardcore or malicious, but okay, I would actually really like some biscuits now. I'm going to work through that after we do this. So then we get the cut back to the present. Do we see Rowan and Cyprian kind of laying in bed? Interesting how they just moved in together like real quick. There.
Yeah, we're see, and we were talking about this as we were watching the episode. Our reaction, by the way, is on Patreon. I meant to say that. My bad, y'all. But our reaction is on Patreon, and we're doing the review on YouTube. So if you want to see our reaction to the episode, please go on Patreon and sign up for Patreon and view the full reaction. And I was saying this as we were watching. I would have preferred to see a progression of their relationship in real time, not in a dreamy state, not in some form of hallucination that Lasher cooked up because the house is burning. Like, it just seems off for some reason. And granted, they haven't kissed, but it just seems to indicate that they've been intimate. And maybe because he's touched her, that is a form of sexual intimacy for him, because that's his powers. That's something that he has control of, and you can really see the inner workings of someone, as we know from what we've been seeing so far. That's a level of intimacy for him that's probably higher than the actual act. I don't know.
Yeah, and I was thinking about that like after you said it, and there were a couple of things. Even though they were like, their relationship sits on a throne of lies because their whole bonding experience was being trapped in this house because of Lasher. But while they were in there, and I'm thinking they both remember the whole experience, they were like sitting down and talking about childhood memories and, triggers and vulnerabilities and all of that stuff. And I know there was like a psychological study or something at one point that was like, this is a list of questions that you can ask someone and almost immediately, like, I don't want to say fall in love, but at the very least, like feel a bond with them. So even though they went through that kind of in captivity, I feel like coming out of it with those memories still intact, they still kind of have that thing. And I think that they boned when they were trapped in the house, because like he was waking up and going downstairs in his drawers to make eggs and stuff. So there's there's that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we didn't see it, but maybe that's a good thing. Maybe because it means something more, considering with Rowan, she's always been, someone that doesn't want to let people in.
Or stay the night.
Or, she's very casual in her encounters with men. So this is probably like the first real person that she feels like she can be vulnerable with and intimate with, in a sense, especially since he kind of knows everything from just touching her
anyway.
Yeah, so it's kind of like he still likes me kind of a thing.
Like even after seeing some of the stuff I've done, he's still here. So.
Yeah, he's still boning me. Yay.
Yeah. Gold star for Sips. So so we see them like in the bed. They're kind of on opposite ends of the bed. Rowan is trying to sleep, but she's got this pesky Lasher issue where he's just like popping up, just standing there watching her. And so, she's basically just like, leave me alone. And she thinks that he disappears, and she's like, are you still there? Are you still there? No? Okay. And tries to like turn over to cuddle up next to Sips, but Lasher makes his presence known again. So she gets up, starts raiding the fridge for leftovers. And though he's not making himself visually present at first, like you can see signs of Lasher there. He's lighting candles and all of that stuff. And then he's not even as cute as Cyprian. That's the thing.
I was rewatching an episode and I'm just like, Lasher is just not appealing. Like he's okay looking. Like I feel like he's not bad, but
he's not great.
I would go to Sip. Number one, like that is who I would go to immediately.
Yeah.
I think that's just who I'm drawn to naturally. Like I mean, the man was looking kind of with that tank top.
Nat was having trouble focusing because he took his glasses off and it was a whole Superman Clark Kent situation. I was like, wait, where are his glasses?
No, I'm thinking consistency here because you've seen this man, get introduced to him with his glasses. So I'm thinking he wears it like I do every day. You don't see me without my glasses. It's very rare that you see me without my glasses. So that's what I was thinking. Except for when you're in the bed, because that just makes sense. And maybe given the circumstance, he came from the bed.
Bedroom. Yeah.
So unless he's like super nearsighted like I am, he can probably function at least a little bit. And since he knows where everything is, since that's his place, okay, maybe that's why I was thrown off.
Or
Mm-hmm.
exactly. Or maybe before I actually had to get glasses, there was a time in life when I had 20/20 vision and I just really wanted glasses because I felt like it would make me look smarter. So maybe that's his thing is, the glasses make him look a little more unassuming, a little more intelligent. He's like, this is the vibe I'm going with. Um, but Rowan, she's eating. Lasher finally shows himself again and he's like, come on, try your gifts. We're bonded. You might as well use them. And she's drawn in just like that. She like picks up a candle flame in her hand and she's like playing with it. Until Sips pops up and is like, what are you doing? And she's like, what? Nothing. Leftovers. Eating. Lasher's not here, if that's what you were implying. Because he asked, he's like, is he here? And how awkward and uncomfortable is that to like have a place and have your significant other with you and know that at any given time there's like this other person that you can't hear, you can't see, that's also like digging digging your boyfriend, girlfriend, and like they could have these whole conversations and like that's rude, sir. Put in on the light bill, put in on the rent, do something if you're going to be here taking up this space and trying to like ghost bone my boo. That's all I'm saying. But um Cyprian basically knows, like, I can tell he's here, and why are you wearing that stupid necklace? And so she looks down and she's like, oh, am I wearing the necklace? How did that get here? I didn't even know it was here. Um, and so he's like, all right, well, let's take it off. Let's get rid of it. He takes it off of her. He like turns around, like, I'm gonna go get rid of it. And she jumps on him like Gollum jumped on Frodo when he was gonna throw throw the ring into the lava. Like
Right. Mordred or the mountain
Mordor. Yeah.
Mordor. Yeah. We had a Lord of the Rings moment.
Because she was
My
literally
precious.
like,
My precious is mine.
mine. Like,
It's
it's
mine.
mine. Give it to me. Like, woman.
Like, ma'am.
He's not even trying to destroy it forever. Like, he just wanted to take it and have it analyzed. Um, so she realizes, like, number one, he showed great restraint in that moment because, she's like, it's mine. You have no right. And he's just like, okay, all right. Oh, you can keep it. That's cool. Um, but she quickly comes back to her senses and she's like, I'm so sorry. Take it. Do what you got to do with it. I don't know why this has such a sick hold on me, but here, please take it. And he kind of explains to her, you don't even need the necklace because you're already bound to him. You were bound to him from the moment you were born. Uh, but the necklace just like amplifies things because he's like, how is he even getting in here? Because there's wards all around. So like he shouldn't be able to unless, and then that's when he notices the necklace. Um, So he vows to go off and see what is the deal with this necklace. What can we do about it? In the meantime, we see the morgue worker sitting in his little recliner watching TV, watching this man talk about how all of the male freedoms are being taken away. And it's like oh my gosh. So directly across from me, there's a window. And my curtains are kind of open, but not really. But I just saw like this hooded figure pass by the window. It's the Amazon guy, but as like, wear brighter colors, sir, because you just freaked me out.
Why is it every time we talk about an entity, some weird happens at your place, ma'am?
As soon as we get to the patriarchy, something happens. It's odd. It's unsettling. But guess what? I'm gonna keep talking about it. So this very overprivileged white male is on TV, and he's talking about how he feels like they don't even have control of their bodies anymore. Like,
Who said that? Who?
homie?
You know who doesn't have control of their bodies? Women. That's who.
But this is not a political this is not a political pod. So
That's a whole other conversation. Okay.
that's a whole other conversation. But he's basically talking about these women, they're taking over and they're witches and they need to be stopped and they need to be burned. And that's where we learn that the morgue attendant took the time to cut out Deirdre's heart. And he's been saving it in a mini fridge in his house. Which, why is he back? Why are you back, sir? The Amazon guy again, he left and then he came back. My God. Okay. Okay. Now I have to sit here and think, how many things did I order? Is he going to go back into his truck and be like, wait, there's another one I forgot? And like, as soon as I see that, okay, the truck is pulling off. Okay. So, oddly, he left his door open. That feels weird, but not my business. Yeah, so it's so weird to me how, these super righteous, holier than thou types are very like, anti-witchcraft, anti-woman. Um, they're doing all of these evil things. In the meantime, you, sir, have a whole heart and a mason jar in your mini fridge. Does that not seem weird to you? Or, the guy who's going around, the modern day witch hunter who's going around, talking about how these different women have been burned and they deserve to be burned. And, anytime you see somebody that's a witch, you should set them on fire. Like I just don't think that's what Jesus would do. I'm not the best Christian, but I feel like that's, he would probably be like, hey, y'all chill out. So seeing this guy talk on TV has really empowered the morgue worker. So he takes a picture of the heart that he has and posts it on whatever social media blog thingy he's a part of, forum, which then takes us to Rowan meeting with Tessa, because Tessa is very upset about seeing her cousin, seeing her cousin's heart, her family member. I think we can agree on that. Seeing her family member's heart in a jar in a weird, creepy internet forum. And she goes to show Rowan, like, look at what's happening. And Rowan is like, it's a heart. Okay. And
Not that deep.
it's not that deep, calm down. And Tessa's like, why are you not freaking out? It's a heart. It's your mother's heart. Um, and other than the fact that Rowan is a medical professional, so she's seen all kinds of, innards during her stint as a doctor and as a neurosurgeon. She never even got to like meet her mother. So I feel like you could look at it and be like, damn, that's messed up. But I don't know that there's going to be a more, heartfelt pain that comes along with it other than that's against some kind of rules. That's a OSHA violation for sure. It has to be. And HIPAA. um I feel like I said a lot. How are you feeling about what we saw?
I mean, I understand Tessa because she grew up as a witch and she feels attacked. And it's kind of like the Mayfair witches are minding their business. They have tragedy befall them all the time, at least a certain line, as we've been
Forever.
seeing. And
Mhm.
so it's not like they don't suffer anything. Like there is apparently a curse. But she also kind of embraces her gifts. It's not like she doesn't. And she wants to protect her family. So she was trying to like meet up with this person and try and take care of him in a sense so she can get this body part that is a part of their family that should have been buried.
Yeah.
Or at least, make sure that the family has it. That's family property. You stole family property.
And not only, this is the heart of a family member, this is a designee heart, which
Exactly.
apparently like means way more than the heart of any other family member that is not spiritually tethered to Lasher. And she feels like there's probably a lot of power in that. And she's, these people who want to see harm come to us, they shouldn't be the ones who are holding on to this power. But that's wrong. That's dangerous. Um, and so, Rowan is kind of like, girl, it's a heart. It's not attached to anything. She's dead. They can't do anything with it. Calm down. Go, move forward, live your life, break away. To which Tessa is like, maybe you should do that. Just saying. And so, Rowan is like, well, I would like to, but I've got this like this guy, this spirit stalking me. And no matter where I go, if I try to break away, he's always going to be right there because we're bound together, jewelry or no jewelry. So, eh.
Yeah, no, didn't he show up like as she was talking to Tess? Just being creepy,
It
being like,
was
"Hey,
it
let
was
me let me let
weird.
me mimic your movements here. Hey."
Yeah, that was like it was so weird because it wasn't even when I don't know that she looked in the window and saw her when, she was looking at her reflection and saw him, but we saw him in her reflection and then she's drinking, he's drinking. Like that was odd. I don't 100% understand that, but I think it's just another way to say no matter where she goes, because he's bound to her, he's always going to be around, whether she sees him or not, or acknowledges him. He's right there. Um, so next we see what happens next. Does Cyprian make it
I think,
to
yeah, I think,
HQ?
yeah, I think he makes it to HQ. And the lady that pretty much saved his life is
Hmm.
like, "Are you sure about this, bruh?"
Yeah. I also had a thought about that. What if when she was healing his stab wound, she also healed his eyesight and now he doesn't need the glasses?
Ah, that could be it, because he definitely rolled up in there like he ain't need no glasses.
Yeah. Yeah. So like either that or by this time somebody forgot him. Somebody in wardrobe was like, no, you're good. Go ahead. The whole look is complete. Throwing
Yeah,
out there. Don't need it.
I have to go back and watch the New York Comic Con panel because if something tells me that those are just for wardrobe purposes and
Mhm.
not, I think he doesn't need glasses in real life.
Not good. Yeah.
So, yeah, something tells me that. And see, I don't like inconsistencies like that. So that's
It's
what was throwing me off.
annoying.
Because as an eyeglass wearer, I'm thinking you need your glasses all the time, bruh.
Right. Right. On some Thomas J stuff. Like
Like
he
I know
can't
contacts
see
exist.
without his glasses.
Right.
Please
Now
help
I
him.
know contacts exist, but you got to give me something to work with here. You can't
Right.
be just all of a sudden switching up on me.
Right. Tell me. And then can he just put the contacts in with his bare hand, or does he have to wear the rubber gloves for that too? And does that make it even more difficult? Like,
I don't
we're
know how that would work.
focusing on the wrong thing, but this is
Well, I
happening
mean, I
in my
feel like when
brain.
they make the contacts, don't they have to use gloves for that?
When they make them, yes. Um, but I've never worn contacts. I've never had to be fitted for them or anything.
Me
It's
neither.
and the thought of touching my eyeball for that long freaks me out, and so I never will. But um, yeah, I'm just wondering, like, is that something that he would have to still wear gloves for because the history of the parts that make up that kind of thing. Anyway, not the point.
Right.
So
I know, off
actually,
topic again.
off
Yeah.
topic, segueing so hard. I think before that happened, Rowan goes to see
Portland.
Cortland, to sit down and have a nice little chat with him, because this was a lovely gift that the family gave me, but how do I give it back? Because I don't want it. I don't want the house. I most certainly don't want this suit wearing fella following me around everywhere I go. Help a sister out.
Right.
And so Cortland is, basically like, sorry, it's, no refunds, no returns, no exchanges. This is, a lot of people would like kill for this gift. And here you have it. Make use of it. Uh, you know, Go ahead and tell him something that you want him to do. Let him work for you. Um, and me and Nat were both sitting there freaking out because he's like, "Would you like some tea?" And we're like, "Don't drink it, girl. It's dangerous. You're gonna be pregnant. You're just gonna wake up pregnant. That's how it's gonna go." We cannot trust this man with beverages. Um,
No, but also when I thought about, did she ever get her bag from the hotel with that had her
with her
birth
stuff.
control?
Did she? I'm sure she did. We didn't see it.
Okay, when you do stuff off screen like that, that throws me off, especially when you emphasize the fact that Cortland would have tried to get her pregnant. We saw that with Deirdre. So
Yeah, so
we
quickly.
are worried, righteously so.
Very worried, and she's just been in here, well, I'm sorry, y'all. This is so inappropriate. But in addition to wearing the rubber gloves, maybe Cyprian has to, cover up
Wrap
other
up.
things. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
so
You know,
maybe
low key, you be thinking about it as they're together. You're like, how does that work? Is it just his hand?
I think it's just his hands because she's been hugging him and stuff, and it hasn't been a
Mhm.
problem. So I think
Yeah,
just
some
his
tells me,
hands,
yeah.
and I think it has to be two of them, like both hands. But
Mm.
um, that just takes my mind to a whole other place. JVS After Dark. Uh,
That's JVS after dark.
um, so uh, basically, Cortland says, okay, there is this thing that we might be able to do. There was like a time in the past when we were able to transfer Lasher to another family member. I can look into it. One of our cousins would know how to, like, if anybody would, this cousin would. In the meantime, um, the Mayfair family is like on the board of the local hospital. Can you just go meet my daughter and take a look around? Give her some notes. Um, tell her what you think. So Rowan kind of goes off to do that, to meet the cousin whose name I can't remember, but I feel
Me
like it's like the cousin is like
neither.
a girl who JoJo. I think it's JoJo.
Something like that. But before that, Rowan realized that Cortland is sick,
That's
and
right.
that he's undergoing treatment. Um, so I think it was ALS, if I recall correctly,
Yep.
which I think is I don't think there's a cure for that. I think
No.
you can prolong it or try and like minimize the symptoms for as long as possible, and eventually it catches up.
Yeah.
Um, wasn't that when we did that bucket challenge?
Yeah.
Was that what that was? Okay.
I think that
Was it ALS?
was it ALS? I don't know. I didn't understand the significance of it when it was happening.
It
Like,
was, I guess, to help support, and I guess it raised money or
yeah,
bring awareness to it. So
all y'all doing is wasting water and ice. Just like post the symptoms. Tell me some important things that I need to know and tell me some ways that I can help. Ask me to donate a couple of dollars, but don't, because then you just have a whole bunch of people pouring buckets of ice on themselves because they don't want to donate $100 and people aren't even paying attention to the actual message. Like now they just want to dump ice water on people. Yeah.
yeah, I do think some people did both. So
Mhm.
I think
Um,
I think some people that I know that did it, I think they donated too. So
that's good. That's very
yeah,
thoughtful. Um, but uh,
back to
excuse
the hospital.
Rowan uses her powers. It was for ALS. I just Googled it. Um, Rowan used her powers to kind of look inside and be like, "Oh, okay, I see what's happening here." But then she also says, like, if I were able to like look inside of you and see what's wrong and then just remove it from you, this illness, this thing that's dragging you down, you would want me to do that. And he's like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Dude, same, but with this guy. Um, help me." So he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna try to help you, but you have to do me a favor in return since you're asking me to do like this heavy lift here." Um, so Rowan goes to meet Jojo at the hospital, who, as it turns out, doesn't necessarily want notes. She wants to hire Rowan to be the neurosurgeon at this hospital since it's basically the family's hospital anyway. Um, Rowan once again sees Lasher hanging out in the background. Uh, and we find out that JoJo's ability is not a stand. It's she has visions, and so she's walking. She has a "that's so Raven" moment where she just freezes for a second, and then is like, you know what, we gotta go. We have to go to as it were to your house, Rowan, since you own it. Um, so they leave. We
I'm gonna get
see
to that later with her and her premonitions. She ain't okay. She ain't
I
premonized. She ain't had a premonition about what was gonna happen later to her daughter.
right, right, and maybe she did. Was that? I didn't think that was her daughter.
I thought that was her daughter,
I think that's another one's daughter.
or like a niece or something, maybe.
I think that might be her niece,
Okay,
or cousin. And now I'm trying to find
I'm already starting to get confused on the who's who.
yeah, right.
As far as like where is it in the hierarchy? You went.
I need a family tree because
Yeah,
getting confused in how all of y'all are related.
I think I did the same thing when I was reading the book. I kept on looking at the gosh darn family tree so I would know who I was reading about as I was progressing through
I might have to
through the book.
Google it because I have questions. Um, Man, and now the wonderful, beautiful woman that is playing the cousin that is like I'm going to be the one to help you. Like, I will be facilitating the transfer. After Cortland has a conversation with her, like, she doesn't want it. We need to figure out how to do something. And she's like, okay, I know what to do. But it's Lasher's choice. Lasher has to choose if he wants to accept another person, and she has to accept him, but we can give it a shot. So he's like, okay, well, hook it up. Let's do it. In the meantime, we go to this rally that the morgue worker this rally, and I know it's a thing. I don't have on rose-colored glasses. I don't live in a little bubble. But to see so many women at this rally nodding their heads and like agreeing with the BS that's being said just really grinded my gears.
Sometimes we are our own worst enemy.
It's bad.
It's kind of like a vicious cycle. It happens to us individually. It happens to us collectively, even as a family, with the cycles, generational trauma, all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have the collective as a community, because we are definitely going back and forth in the Black community about our issues. Like, don't get it twisted. And then you have the American collective, like what other, groups of folk be arguing about ad nauseum. And then, you have these group of people that just, for some reason, just doesn't see, probably hasn't really read the Bible, probably hasn't really, or at least the version of the Bible that they need to be reading. It's like their interpretation of it is so twisted that it just negates what Jesus was all about. Like, he wasn't hating on nobody. He was trying to save people, but the way that he went about saving people was not to burn them at the stake.
Yeah.
He wasn't trying to like say that they're lesser than.
But here we are, because people don't read. And it's a lot easier to like have somebody else shout stuff at you and just go along and agree with that than it is to read and comprehend and form opinions of your own. I am just really vexed because I feel like they left this key character out on IMDb, and it's really gonna bug me that I can't remember her name.
Which one?
The Black woman, the Black cousin that was like facilitating the whole seance thingy.
Yeah, I'm really hoping we get to see a little bit more of the Black side of the family. But of course, that's just me.
Yeah. The other interesting thing was Cortland saying that house has been in the family since they came over from Haiti. And I was like,
I want to know a little bit more about that. And where did Lasher fit into all that? Like, where did the okay, you know what it is? Okay. Since we started in Scotland, I guess some of them kind of, because the UK is a mix of everybody. They everywhere. They always been moving, switching places, kings, queens, whatever have you. And of course, eventually the slave trade happened, and people trying to move over in Haiti. I'm sure there were slavers and whatnot there. So it wouldn't surprise me if that's how we got the Black fat side of the family.
Yeah. And now they're like, they decided to stay even after the uprising and all of that stuff. Their family did. Which is how we've got a nice array, a diverse family here. But JoJo and Rowan get to the house. Actually, no, I'm sorry. I completely blocked out the whole rally thing because it just pissed me off so bad. But they're at this rally. This this new age witch hunter is, once again, just talking about how important it is to demolish any witch that you see because they're evil, and that this one particular lady deserved to die because she said that she had, her faith had been lessened, rocked. Just I wonder why.
Right.
Um,
So instead of, trying to see where it went wrong and to bring her back, no, you're saying, oh, she deserved to die.
yeah, she deserved to die. And if you see anybody else practicing her kind of bull, then they deserve to like burn too. There's that. So the morgue attendant actually comes to this rally with the heart in the mason jar in like a little cooler. Like, and I realize that when they do organ transplants and stuff, they do transplant it in a little cooler like that. But in Louisiana, in an open park on a hot, I'm assuming, summer day, sir. Anyway, so he just really wants to get the attention and the validation from this speaker. So he goes over and he's like, guess what I have? I got Deirdre Mayfair's heart. So now he's like getting big ups from the crew, like, woo, which weird. But
Yeah. Well, homeboy from the Talamasca, I think Cyprian's boss, did go to the rally. So I don't know if he had a chance to overhear that or see that, because we didn't really see the camera pan to him witnessing that. So I'm hoping he did, or just have other people kind of like, he kind of stuck out like a sore thumb. I'm like, dude, you could have let us know that a Talamasca agent was there, because he could have probably blended in a little bit better. I'm just saying, because I didn't see no color folk there, not too many. So I don't know.
Yeah, probably could have, but there's always one of the good ones. So maybe he was just one of the good ones.
Yeah, and yeah, we always got to sprinkle in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Saying all own worst enemy is.
So let's just take a minute to go back to the 1600s and visit our cousin Susan, because she is now pleading for her life, trying to explain to everybody that I'm helping you because of God, not because the devil is telling me to do it. And the witch hunter back in the day, which I feel like it might be a little cheesy, but if they do that thing where like he's also like a descendant, like the current day witch hunter is a descendant of the dude in the pilgrim hat walking around trying to capture women.
I mean, they kind of did that with Wednesday.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
So
spoilers, if
like,
you have not watched Wednesday, there is definitely a parallel here. I immediately thought of Wednesday when they were going back and forth between the past and the present. I'm like, ain't this
did y'all talk? Did y'all have lunch together when you were writing? But I did like the parallel in this episode though, where like you could see, and I've been trying very hard to keep it PG because I curse like a sailor. But same
yeah,
poop,
it's
different
very
toilet.
it's very frustrating, and that history repeats itself. You have cycles of history repeating themselves, and then you have people that try and lie so history can repeat itself. Like you have, that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
So there's just so many parallels in this episode. Like you said, so with the past, because we didn't really understand the significance of the key, which we got in this episode later. And then even how we still don't know how Lasher became attached. We still don't know that part, because we've been hanging with Susie, but where was Lasher all this time?
He wasn't in the fields with her giving hand jobs to weird old people who then turned on her.
Okay.
Just like she's a witch. Like, sir,
can can you help out a little bit here?
Like you want to talk about evil and unethical. You were whole ass sexually harassing me, like shaking me down for hand stuff while with my kid or my little sister, whoever she is, like right there in tow. You should be ashamed of yourself. You consort with the devil. Um,
I don't
but
think it was the witch hunter though. I think that was someone completely different.
no, but I think somebody, in the crowd, somebody in the crowd like was that guy.
Yeah, because she tried to get at her sister, and that's
Mhm.
when she was like, "Oh hell no! Okay, you want to bring me? You think I'm in league with the devil? Oh, I'm gonna bring you the devil." That's what
Yeah.
that was.
And her sister was like, "Say the bad word, say the bad word." Like her sister was just yelling at her, like, "Look, I know you read that book and there were some words that we're never supposed to say, but now seems like a good time for you to say them. I mean, you're gonna die anyway. So the worst that could happen is happening right now. So let's see what the alternative is." Because at this point, poor Susan is in a cage. Somebody, there's always that one, like, see if she drowns, like that kind of thing. um, and they are about to set her on fire. So at this point, because at this point, she is desperate. And even though she's not supposed to say the words, for some reason she already has them committed to memory. And so she starts doing this chant. At the same time, well, not at the same time this is happening. The first thing that happens is Cyprian goes into I don't know why I can never remember or pronounce the name of the organization that he works for. In my head, it's always Talladega. I
It's
know
Talamasca.
that too. Um, I was like Talladega Nights. That's not it.
Oh,
Um,
okay. I can see. I can totally see that. If I didn't know the organization, I would probably be saying Talladega.
I'm close. I'm so close. So he goes to Talamasca. He goes to their little interrogation room. He has his homie with the healing powers come in, and he's like, "Look, I'm gonna take my gloves off. I'm gonna hold this necklace. I'm gonna see what I can see. I need you here in case things go awry. I don't know how much you can do, but I would just feel a lot safer if you were here to you know, monitor everything that's happening." So he holds onto the necklace. He, goes down into his sleepy place, and he's seeing Susan getting dragged to the cage. He's seeing the people who she's saying, "I helped you, I helped your wife, I helped you," turn on her, and one guy is like pelting her with rocks and feeling very proud about it. Um, and I know part of that is, shut up. Yes, you helped all of us, and now he's gonna be looking at us like we're some kind of product of the devil. Like, gotta shut her up. Gotta go ahead and make sure that she's quiet because you're not bringing the heat down on us too. Okay, guys, we're caught. He caught all of us. Jethro, Jedediah, Anne Marie, come on out, guys. He got all of us. So we should all be in this cage together. um, but Cyprian is kind of sitting there watching that, and he's seeing the things that are leading up to Lasher coming onto the scene. In the meantime, Rowan is at the house with beautiful cousin, who's I'm gonna call her Beauty just because I cannot remember her name.
Tessa?
And no,
Oh
not
no, the
Tessa. Yeah,
black
the
cousin. Okay,
yeah,
black cousin. Okay.
black cousin. But I also don't want to call her black cousin because it's too many syllables. So,
How about
um,
Auntie? I'll
Auntie.
just we'll call her Auntie.
She's in with Auntie, and Auntie is, like, "Are you sure you want to do this? Because there's a lot of benefits that come to having your own personal lasher bound to you. Um, Also, there's a possibility that once you're not bound to him anymore, um, you're gonna lose your powers. Like, and a lot of your surgeon skill might have to do with the fact that you can look into people's bodies and see what's going on." And she's like, "Ma'am, 10 years of medical experience. No." I'ma still be a good surgeon regardless. That's not it. So she's like,
Right.
yeah, right. Like, okay.
It helped you a lot. How about that?
Yeah.
You got the basics and the skill set, but it got enhanced with your powers, ma'am.
Because ain't no way you just had a hunch that this kid's vein is flipped over like one in every 1 million kids or something like that. There's something to her powers that, giving her like an extra little nudge forward. But she's like, no, I just want him gone. So the cousin's like, okay, well, let me show you what we have to do. Um, and so they go into like this room with all kinds of stuff in it, and we find out that it was, I guess,
Okay.
her grandfather's her grandfather was a necromancer, and so he would keep stuff around to necromance, including face in a jar. Um, and Auntie goes to this little cabinet. Well, she actually sends Rowan over to this cabinet, and she's like, "Go in there and pull that box out." And the box is like a tiny little coffin. To which I was like, "Please don't let it be a baby skeleton in the coffin. I can't handle it.
Right.
I can't do it. It's too much." um, Fortunately and unfortunately, it is not a baby skeleton in a coffin. It is a compilation of all of the bones of all of the designees, all the way back to Susan, I guess. And so then she starts pointing them out. Like, that's Ida Mae's femur. That's the face was made out of somebody's hip bone.
I saw the hip bone. It looked like a face.
Yeah, like,
We got the hair.
okay.
We got
Yeah,
we got some hair.
right. Like,
And we
and
included
now,
Deirdre's hair in now. You can braid that in.
yeah, like now we got your mama's hair. So go ahead, braid that in. And she's like, so you want me to braid this hair into that? And she's like, either you're on board with it or you're not. You can't half-ass this. Like, you can't not believe and then still expect something to happen. Christian message. Um, like, you're all in or you're not. So she's like,
She
okay.
did have a point with that, especially with it's like Rowan is trying to fight her logical mind with what she's seeing, what she's feeling, what she's experiencing. This latent power that she doesn't realize that she had is part of this family legacy.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like she's barely had time to process anything. First off, your adopted mom died. You couldn't save her. You
Mm-hmm.
killed two people. You find out who you are from the strange man that followed you. You go to New Orleans. You finally see your birth mom, but then you're traumatized again because throat slit open.
Mm-hmm.
So you barely have time to process that. Then you're at a funeral. Then you're in engulfed with all these people that you don't know that thought you were dead because you saw a grave with your name on it. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just a lot of process.
That's a
You
lot.
have this creepy ass ghost following you, but you're drawn to him, but you can't help being drawn to him, but you don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like you didn't ask for that.
Yeah, all of this, and you're a scientist, so none of it agrees with each other.
Mm-mm.
But she's like, okay, so she does like a very poor job, if you ask me, of braiding the hair in, but not my business. Um,
It, would you do you would you feel comfortable braiding hair to something like that?
no, but I'm also, to my knowledge, not endowed with any spiritual, magic abilities. I'm not a doctor. Um, Like, because just earlier she was like, "It's your mom's heart in a jar." And she's like, "Yep, that's what it looks like. I see this kind of stuff every day." So, it might not be the best, but yeah, I just mm. um but she braids the hair in, and then all of the ladies of the Mayfair clan come in, and they kind of form this circle. they're going to start doing a little chanting, doing a little ceremony here so that they can figure out if Lasher is going to accept another one of the ladies within the circle to be bound to instead of Rowan. They pass this mashup of all of the designees passed, like they pass it around so everybody in the circle can kiss it. They start doing their chanting, and the chant that they're doing just so happens to be the same words that Susan was chanting back in the day, as like it's getting real now and she really needs to figure out a way out of this. So she just starts chanting those words over and over again. Rowan is saying the words, but she's kind of saying it like A, B, C, D, E, F. And, Auntie is like, if you want this to work, you got to put some stank on it. Like, say it like you mean it. So Rowan's getting into it in the present. Susan is getting into it in the past. Rowan's eyes kind of, glaze over and turn white. And so now everybody in the circle is like, oh, what's happening here? What's what's going on here? Which is weird because you're all these you all have some kind of magical ability. You were born into this. But now that something is actually happening, you're all looking kind of shocked and taken aback. Like
I just don't know if they've ever been in a circle like that where they're actively trying to summon Lasher, as well as like see what he can really do. Like, it's one thing to hear about it, but to actually experience it is another thing.
Yeah.
And also because for years Carlotta tried to tamp that down. Because Deirdre was in a comatose state or getting therapy or electric shock therapy and all that. So all of that magical stuff that Deirdre even learned in using Lasher, Cortland saw it a little bit, but I don't think he's been exposed to it a lot either. So
yeah, that's fair. So they make contact. As they're making contact, we see things are starting to burn back in Susan's village, and we see Lasher walking through the flames, like coming out of the flames, like her knight and shining
black
suit.
armor.
Yeah, like shining business suit. He's coming to save her. When the witch hunter was locking Susan into the cage, he locked her in with this necklace that was a key, which is the necklace that has been passed on like for generations now. But right now, the witch hunter has that necklace around his neck. Without even touching him, Lasher uses the necklace to choke him to death. And then gives the necklace to Susan so that she can get herself out of the cage and, be his boo. And basically tells her, you have just started what is going to be a, centuries long journey to fulfill an ancient prophecy. And Susan is like, yeah. Like, she's fine with it.
I mean, I would be too if I called you, you came, you helped me out.
Right.
I'm gonna be grateful. And so I'm like, oh, it's true. You can be my ace spoon coon. Like this. Okay, bet. Okay,
Right.
cool.
This is great because the dude I was giving hand jobs to, he ain't trying to save me. So
I mean, he ain't. No one in the village tried to save me. My sister is with this dude that I need to get at because he got my sister now. It's on and popping. I need to see that. I need to see this dude.
I
Like,
need to
just
see that revenge.
I know.
So once the ceremony has started, Auntie, That's what happens, because I'm like, how did the necklace get back there? Rowan throws up the necklace, which now we're all like, what?
Yeah, and now it's out of Sip's hands. Granted,
Mhm.
he's still in the past, and he gets knocked out
Yeah.
by Lasher. So in the present, he's like, ugh.
Yeah.
And so
Now,
Homegirl's like, see, I knew this was gonna happen.
right. This some old boom.
Like, wake up.
Like, now I gotta be here. Like, you know what? You gotta find your own ride home, homie.
Right.
Sorry.
I'm looking for the necklace. I'm looking for the necklace. I'm like, see, this is why I told this man.
This is why I
You
said,
know
no,
that's what she was thinking.
we could have done some Google or something, but now look at you, stuck in the past. No Ubers, no lifts. Figure it out.
No
And
lifts.
surprise, surprise.
No cell phone. You can't call nobody up. Be like, hey, can you get me?
Yeah, someone, can you come get me? At least poor Ebony in a Players Club, she could like call. She could call Diamond and be like, can you come pick me up? I was dancing at Junior's bachelor party. He can't even do that. You stuck. You stuck in a place where they don't even see Black people. Like,
I mean, I don't know if Scotland had. Were there Black
I'm sure.
historians? Can you please
Yeah.
put in the comments? Because I
Well,
feel like there were Moors, and that was pretty much Black folk.
yeah,
So
that's what
I
I was
just
gonna
don't
say.
know if we were kind of like sprinkled in there somewhere in the 1600s.
Maybe making a little pit stop here and there. Don't know. The
Um,
point is, it's not common. He's in
exactly.
regular time clothes and is about to, well, they can't see him anyway. He's just stuck there. The only person who could see him was Lasher, who like,
Unless he somehow appears to Suzanne somehow, some way.
also a
That
possibility.
may be the key to. But Lasher probably ain't gonna have that, especially if he's really tied to her. He's gonna be like,
Yeah, no, I can't let you see her so that you can warn her about like, now you warn her about all of the things that are to come for every woman in your like lineage forever, and then you change your mind. No, 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 you just stay invisible, stay lost. But in the present, Lasher chooses Tessa to bond with. Um, and so now, like, the family is, all the women are so excited, like, oh my God, Tessa's the new designee. We're so proud of her. Like, now her mom is over there, like, all proud and stuff. Tessa's super happy. She's like talking to Lasher, like, look, boo, I'm ready when you're ready. Let's do this.
see, the fact that he ain't appear immediately,
Right, right.
that should have been a sign, homie. That should
I
have been
feel
a
like,
sign. That should have been like, oh, you know what? Let me postpone this meeting until
mhm,
till I actually speak to Lasher, because it was just part of the ceremony. We don't really know if he really
we don't know
spoke
if
to
it
her.
took. Yeah. And like the way he loved everybody in Deirdre's mom, like all the way down the line, and he would have shown up with like flowers or something, even though nobody else could have seen him.
Well, like the funeral, the flowers, like when Deirdre was young at the school, the flowers. I even
Mhm.
think he showed up. He definitely showed up for the masquerade party, but I even think he had flowers at the party. So, like, there have been flowers to kind of signify his presence too. And
Mhm.
you ain't seen no flowers in nowhere. Yeah, you
Yeah.
got accepted, but you really should have had a conversation, boo, before you went out to meet someone that you.
Yeah. So Tessa is like gung ho, and now she's like, I feel empowered because I've got my own demon ghost guy to
That
like
can do my bidding,
that
supposedly.
that will do my bidding. So let me go ahead and get my aunt, cousin, whoever Deirdre is to her. Let me go ahead and get her heart back from this crazy morgue worker. So she DMs him, kind of posing as like a witch hunter fangirl. Um, in the meantime, now Rowan, who absolutely wanted this guy gone out of her life, is feeling a little sense of loss, because it's like, so y'all not gonna pay no attention to me now? As soon as I coughed up the necklace and it went on her neck, nobody even came over to see if I was okay. Y'all just all ran over there. Like, am I not still a Mayfair? But, they're like, girl, you have nothing to offer us now.
Well, not only that, but like you ain't wanna be part of it. So boo
Yeah.
boo.
Yeah. You're not one of us. You can't sit with us. Go on somewhere. Um, and so Auntie comes up to her and, is like, you good? And she's like, oh yeah, I'm great. And she's like, you sure? Because you look a little sad. Are your powers still intact? And she's like, yep, just like I thought. Didn't need him for this. And so it's like, okay. So we see Tessa going to meet for what she thinks is going to be a trap for the morgue worker, because she really wants to get that heart back. She's using her abilities, her gift of
Glamour.
glamour. She's
Glamour.
glamoring this man like, are your eyes green? Are they blue? Oh my gosh, you're so
You're so
cool. You're
sweet.
so
You're so like
smart. Yeah.
handsome. Like
Oh, I can look at you and tell you're so smart. And he's under her spell, so he's eating it up. But in the meantime, the modern day witch hunter crew, they're coming up behind her like, ooh, now we got this Mayfair chick. Knew it. Nailed it. And so Tessa thinks that's okay because I got Lasher. So, she starts with her Mecca Lecca High, Mecca Highly Ho chant, and nothing is happening. He's not showing up for her, at least not by the end of this episode.
okay, so in her defense, it did take a few minutes for Lasher to show
Yeah,
up.
that's how
So
I was
I'm
like,
like,
at least not by the end of this episode, because he's got to look through his wardrobe, pick out his suit, run the product through his hair. Like, this man wants to make an entrance.
he does.
And he's like, am I gonna hit him with the gators today? Am I just gonna do like a simple, Oxford, maybe a brogue? I don't know. I gotta work through my wardrobe here.
I will give him that. He does try and like make an impression with the suits.
Mm-hmm.
And he does kind of like and in a way, and I don't know if it started as black and he eventually kind of like switched colors here and there to kind of like fit the mood. But I noticed that he does kind of wear white when he's around Rowan.
Mm-hmm.
Was he wearing black when Rowan was in the trance?
I don't I saw him kind of pop up in the background, but I don't remember.
I'm trying to remember when he was like, "Are you sure if he was in black?" Or I know for sure he was in black when he rescued Suzanne. So I don't know if the cross between, I think, was he in an older outfit in the past, but it was still black.
Yeah, it was black, but I think it was.
He actually did look good in that. I will give him that.
I mean, yeah, I get it. For back in Susan's time, and he's like walking out of flames. The wind is blowing his hair back. He's
True. Yeah.
saving her life. Okay, I totally understand, but sir, cut your hair. Get something that shapes a little better. And I mean, your suit game is on point. I cannot deny you that. I will not debate on that one. But yeah, still team Cyprian.
Yeah, of course. All day, every day.
So yeah, so I guess next episode I'm looking forward to seeing if Lasher is going to show up for her. I kind of doubt that he will. I feel like the transfer wasn't 100%. I feel like Rowan is going to wake up and that necklace is going to be right back around her neck because he's not letting her go that easily.
No, and Rowan is probably more powerful, so he's not going to give that up, even if he has to sacrifice one of the supposed designee and someone so young, even like, dang, bruh.
Yeah.
But and it's kind of like, this is why I was hoping that at least they would have had a conversation, him and Tessa, because if he knew what she was trying to do, I feel like he would have helped her out. Mm-hmm. Especially since that is Deirdre, he did have some affection for her, even though he's using her. But there is some affection there, and that is like someone that desecrated her. So wouldn't you want to get at him for that? like you did kill the guy that killed Deirdre. So I would think that you would want to at least help in that manner. So that's what I was hoping would happen, but that didn't happen. So,
but also the other thing to think about is Tessa is not the 13th. Deirdre is the 13th. Not Deirdre. Rowan is
Rowan.
The 13th. So yeah, that's great. You know, we can bond or whatever for a minute, but the 14th designee is not the one that's supposed to fulfill the prophecy. It's the 13th designee. And even though you transferred it, you know, kind of like Doctor Who and his regenerations when he got to that 12th one, and then they were like, what are we gonna do? Because he only had a couple more left, and now we're here and we're not ready to cancel the show. So so, you know, like with this, like the 13th designee is supposed to be the one that fulfills the prophecy, and sure, it's transferable, but that does not now make Tessa the 13th. That makes her, she's number 14. What am I supposed to do with this? I can't fulfill the prophecy with the girl whose like strongest power is to like make dudes fall in love with her for 30 seconds. I need this powerful one back. So yeah,
unfortunately Tessa's going to be sacrificed, and it's such a shame because again, she's young.
She's so
young. And this is where I'm conflicted as far as the books, because I feel like I thought Tessa was going to be someone else that has a role later on. Now, granted, we haven't seen episode 7, so we don't know if she's going to miraculously get rescued, but there has to be a retransfer, so to speak. So I think she's going to have to die, unfortunately, which makes it confusing for me, because I thought she would play a role later, because there is a character around Tessa's age that's supposed to play a role, but if she dies, then who is going to be that person? And is it just going to be someone that they're going to bring in the second season if it gets renewed? I hope it gets renewed. So that's kind of like where I'm at. I thought the transfer would happen a lot later, but because of how Rowan is and the fact that she doesn't want this, it kind of makes sense that she would want to go this route initially, and it just not work. Because I mean, Lasher acts a whole fool in the second book, but it's child, and
I think I'm going to be disappointed if it doesn't get renewed for a second season, because I don't have time to read, and that's what they're going to make me do.
Well, yeah. I mean, the books are kind of big, and they are kind of long, because again, there's so many characters or so many people in the Mayfair family that you kind of like see, especially in the past, between the back and forth, and you're just like, and again, that's why I was like trying to read the gosh darn family tree every time. Fortunately, I think it does appear in every book, so I'm like, let me go back to this family tree here. Oh, okay, this is what we talking about. Okay, good.
Yeah, see, and I can't even do Audible with that. Like, I would need to actually look at it so that I can like visually absorb everything and be able to flip back when I need to flip back and all of that. But that's neither here nor there. We're putting out, positive vibes. It'll get renewed. We're good. But I think that was the end of the episode. Is there anything that you're looking forward to seeing or learning in episode 7?
I'm definitely gonna. We need to find out what happens to Tess, whether yay or nay. We need to see that Sip gets back to the present, because this dude got stabbed, had to be brought back, and now he is stuck in the past.
Like, after getting stabbed, they would have gotten a whole letter of resignation for me as soon as I got healed. I'm done with this. There's no need for me to keep on putting my life at risk here.
No. If that was the case, then he would have left Rowan.
Yeah.
He would like, that's what we doing. All right, bye.
Yeah. Even if you don't resign, like,
can you reassign me?
Right. Like he could tell his boss, like, look, you take her. Give me somebody that has way less drama surrounding them because no, this ain't me. This ain't for me.
Yeah, but he already fell for her at that point, so it was a wrap.
Yeah.
The things we do for love.
I'm gonna listen to that song while I'm making dinner.
Right.
Which might include biscuits. We'll see.
Right. You want biscuits.
I would just really like I would really like a Hardee's biscuit. But that's a drive that I'm not willing to make. So,
well, I actually ironically do have biscuits in the refrigerator that I haven't made yet. I probably won't. I'm trying to wait because I'm trying to cut back.
Mm-hmm.
Then why did I get it in the first place? I managed to resist up until this point, but yeah.
And see, I don't have I would have to make the biscuits from scratch, which I am fully prepared to do because I feel like I've got all of the ingredients here in the house to do it, but I'm not gonna do it because then I'll just be in the house with 12 biscuits crying to my trainer on Monday, like, the scale hasn't moved and I don't understand why I've been working out. Yes, I ate 12 biscuits over the weekend, but I walked. So, anywho, folks.
All right. Yeah, thanks for watching. We will be back next week for the next episode of the Mayfair Witches. It's getting hot and heavy, y'all. Stuff's popping off. Last year's a hot mess. These modern witch hunters are a hot mess.
Trash.
Just trash. So please like and subscribe, and please comment what did you think of the episode? Are you thinking along the lines that we are? Yeah, if you don't. Anywho, just please like and subscribe, hit that bell button so you can be notified when you get a new video from TeamJVS, and we will hit you guys next week. Bye. Oh, wait.
Uh-oh. That was such a perfectly timed peace sign, too.
I know, and I wasn't thinking. I wasn't thinking.
I can do it again. Just tell me when.
No. We're about to say hi, bye.
Filing out the top of I can see the skyline, 50 mile radius on my timeline. Ain't nothing on my mind. Oh, Lord.